Hi, my name is Alicia Foreman, and tonight we'll be discussing United States panel charts. For this demonstration, we're going to use open source data that we pulled from the Census website. Specifically, we're going to look at the BA-NSA. Now, what does that mean? From the Census site, we came across a definition of not seasonally adjusted business application national series. Tonight in class, we discussed how it'll be anybody applying for like an LLC if you wanted to become a business owner. And we also discussed that some of them don't always make it to become a successful business. They might die off within 2 years. So I think that was a little bit better definition than what we had found on the website. Today we're going to discuss the data that will be coming from the United States. All 50 states will be in our panel graphs, charts, and I limited the information from 15 years to 5-year span so that there were only 5 points per chart instead of the longer ones. Also, we're going to dig a little deeper into a 4-state area. I currently live in South Dakota, so I wanted to specifically look at some of the local areas and how the growth from that state is exceeding or decreasing, which state would be better out of the local area. Maybe I would like to relocate somewhere close in the Midwest because I do like the 4 seasons. So we're going to look at that information as well. Let's begin. Here we have all of the panel charts. We have every state listed in alphabetical order. So it'll be Alaska and Alabama, etc., going across and then down. A lot of them are straight lines. I think that is interesting. Also, this information is the sum of every year for the total number of business applications that were put in that state. There are quite a few charts here in our business data charts on our panel. Here at the bottom you can see the year between 2015 to 2020. I didn't make that up, that's what I used. These are also in hundred thousands of total number of charts that were made. Let's narrow in on some of them that are interesting. This one here is Texas, and the chart is significantly higher than many of the others around it. This one specifically in 2019 was 304,360 points, where you're looking at states. Utah, it was significantly lower, not even 50,000 applications in that state. Let's scroll up and see a few others. We have Georgia, which is in the medium range. We have Florida, which is extremely high. California is extremely high. We had Texas that we looked at earlier. New York is fairly high, but New York is not anywhere close as big as Texas or California. And Florida is all year is great weather. So there's going to be a lot of job applications there in those states. Something else that we wanted to consider and look into is that in the year 2020, it has not finished yet. So the data in that year is going to be less than any of the other years. However, we have seen that the COVID has hit, but that doesn't necessarily explain why those numbers might be looking a little different compared to previous years. So with all of that information given, let's look a little deeper into the 4 states that we were interested in. Like I said, I currently live in South Dakota, so I wanted to pick that state specifically and then some of them around. I ended up choosing Colorado and North Dakota and Wyoming because they're all touching. They're all right there in the same area. Here we have the sum again, and the panel charts are here given. Colorado, we can obviously see, is significantly higher than North Dakota, Wyoming, and South Dakota. I believe, let's see. No, North Dakota is slightly lower in 2018. North Dakota is the lowest out of the 4 states that we're looking at. Colorado is significantly higher. I think the population in Colorado is higher. population density. So if there are bigger cities in that state than, say, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming, then it would make more sense for more businesses to be trying to pop up in those areas. Also, we discussed in class that maybe the legalization of marijuana has a little bit to do with it. I think that it has increased the number of people that are flocking to that state or going to visit that state that might start, say, a new business for tourism, etc. So that's kind of something interesting, but that's not necessarily something that we're going to gain out of this data series. I wanted to continue on and compare the average for these 4 states, and you can see up close the differences between them. Here, Colorado significantly dropped from 2019 to 2020. Keep in mind that we haven't finished all of 2020, so that data will be a little bit different. But that's a huge drop, 85,740 to 65,960. In the average, we're looking at 80K here on the side. On the average, we're looking at 1,500. So 1,500 applications, total applications, versus the average, which was increased it. That's a big significant difference. Also, let's see here. In South Dakota, it was only around 150. Wyoming average had a lot more each year than, say, the sum of all of them included. I suppose with the averages you might exclude some of the outliers, or maybe some of the outliers were significantly higher. It's quite different, the information that you find from, say, a sum or an average, looking at the same data. This is what we've learned about the states charts with the business application data. I think it is quite an interesting field to continue to research, even though we've just barely scratched the surface. But thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys again in the future and speaking with you. Thank you.